Alright, let's finally do this. In another change of plans, I've decided to space these mini reviews out to 3 per video rather than 6, and we'll do this for all remaining Season 8 episodes, with the exception of the finale, School Race, which will have its own video review. With that said, there's still a lot of episodes to go through, so let's get started right away with the parent map.
So you're here for an extra long visit? You can stay in your old room, Punky Wonk. It's just like you left it.
We need to find this friendship problem now.
After sitting last season out, Dave Rapp returns to the show with another episode that presents an intriguing premise with a solid if flawed execution. Starlight and Sunburst are called by the map for a mission that sends them reluctantly to their hometown, Sire's Hollow. Unsure of what problem they need to solve, they must work together to find it whilst also trying to remain calm around their well-meaning but overbearing parents. Starlight's father, Firelight, always treats her like a child, while Sunburst's mother, Stellar Flare, constantly tries to plan her son's future for him. And what makes this story interesting is how it puts the two main characters in a situation that, for many of us, is all too relatable. Neither wants to be rude towards their loving parents, but their interfering is so obnoxious and annoying, it's hard not to identify with their increasing frustration. Especially when they immediately feel bad for yelling at them when explaining how they feel. At this moment, Starlight delivers one of my favourite lines of the season. Upon realising that the strained relationship with their parents is the problem they were called to solve, she laments,
Why couldn't we have been sent to stop a war or something?
Before this, the first half sees the pair try to fix a disagreement between Stellar Flare and Firelight, as one wants to renovate and modernise the town, while the latter wants to preserve its rich history. The story is fine on its own, and is a nice way to try and throw viewers into thinking the episode will go in a different direction than it does, but alongside the second half and overall message, it ends up lacking relevance. Curiously, the episode omits Starlight's mother and Sunburst's father completely, which for a story centered heavily around their home and families feels like something of a missed opportunity. Rounded off with some strong moral lessons in which all 4 ponies learn something, the parent map is another very satisfying and enjoyable episode, even if it never quite explores its full potential. I'll give it a gold star score of 8.
I know you've been competitive in the past, but I'm sure you'd never let that get in the way of friendship education. Of course! Totally!
Considerably less impressive now, NonCompete Clause is the first episode to be written by Kim Bayer-Johnson, and it's definitely one of the more underwhelming stories we've had in some time. Applejack and Rainbow Dash take their students out on a field trip for them to learn about teamwork, but as both are vying to be the next teacher of the month, their competitive rivalry takes over. It sounds a bit like a spiritual successor to Season 1's 4 Weather Friends, and as well as sharing some similarities to it, NonCompete Clause does feel like it could have been an early season episode, but unfortunately not really in a good way. The biggest flaw is with the writing of Rainbow Dash and Applejack. Bayer-Johnson's script seems stuck in 2010, as in re-exploring their competitive sides, it pushes aside pretty much all character growth and development that the series has given them over the years, and reverts them back to their Season 1 selves. At one point, their arguing during Rainbow's canoeing activity sends them down a dangerous stream that nearly results in an already anxious Yona drowning, with Ocellus and Silverstream coming to her rescue. After Twilight reprimands them for their behaviour and assigns them a nature walk, Rainbow and Applejack drop the competitiveness, but the episode still has problems. Instead, they try to be more cooperative with each other, but their inability to agree on anything just comes across as immature and annoying. While I did find the first half of the episode to be amusing at times, I barely chuckled once during the second. The episode does have some positives though. Like I said, there are some laughs to be found in the first half, and it does succeed in showing the young six again working together and growing as a group, and learning a great lesson about teamwork in the process. Despite its negative reception, and being the lowest rated episode on IMDb, NonCompete Clause may be one of Season 8's weaker installments, but it isn't the worst in the entire series. The storytelling and characterization feel very familiar and dated, but there are still some redeeming qualities, so I'll give it a Silver Star score of 5.
Okay, we're finished.
You're right. She did surprise him.
It may feel a bit odd to be seeing a Heart and Hooves Day themed episode premiering sometime after Valentine's Day, but regardless of air dates, the Breakup Breakdown is one of the best of the season. Written by Nick Confalone, Big Mac is planning a romantic Heart and Hooves Day evening for his girlfriend Sugar Belle, but his plans may be in trouble when he overhears pieces of a conversation and thinks that his special sun pony is planning to break up with him. There are 2 additional side stories running as well, one involving Spike trying to convince Discord that love really does exist, and the other with the Cutie Mark Crusaders searching for a potential secret admirer, believing that Sweetie Belle has one after they accidentally receive a pie that Big Mac has baked specially for Sugar Belle. Confalone's script is packed with plenty of funny and cute moments, excellent dialogue, and great characters, with the interactions between Spike and Discord standing out the most. The latter is particularly well characterized here. All he wants to do is play a game of ogres and oubliettes with his friends, and brilliantly criticizes Heart and Hooves Day as a commercialized ruse forced upon you by the greeting card industry. But despite his cynicism and impatience, it is nice to see that he actually does try to help Big Mac get through his state of depression in the best way he knows how. While Big Mac and Sugar Belle are mostly kept separate and scenes with them together are rather minimal, the episode still does a very pleasing job exploring their feelings about each other. Predictably, the conflict does come down to confusion and misunderstanding, but the narrative smartly shows how it affects them in a heartbreaking way, as both are crushed when they each think that the other abruptly wants to call it off. It makes it all the more believable that they really do care deeply for each other and they both want their relationship to last. This is particularly well expressed during a final scene that they share together near the end of the episode, which makes for a very sweet moment between the couple. Will there be wedding bells for them soon? Only time will tell, of course, but with Season 9 reportedly being the last, it would be nice to see it happen before the show wraps up. The only thing that's something of a downside is the side story with the CMC. While it is a nice idea that's written pretty well, I think it could and should have been saved for its own episode. For the most part, it lacks purpose with the main narrative, which overall makes it a bit cluttered and unfocused. But despite this, and its predictable direction, the Breakup Breakdown is still a wonderful episode and certainly a Season 8 favourite. I'm giving it a Gold Star score of 9. So those were my thoughts on these episodes. As always, I'd love to know what you thought, so please be sure to let me know in the comments. Next time, I'll be talking about Meltdown, Marks for Effort, and The Mean Six. Until then, thank you all for watching as always, and keep shining on, every pony!